What up, fight world? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for boxing and the latest in fighting. Now, things I told you guys in past videos, things are getting really interesting in the heavyweight division. I'm working, I'm busy. I got a Boxingego first look, David Haye versus Tony Bellew, that I got to finish putting together. Check for that on the channel. That's the next fight for David Haye. And I just read an interesting interview / article on Sky Sports. Shout out to skysports.com, link in the description. And they spoke with IBF chairman Lindsey Tucker, and they were asking about obviously the big April fight, Joshua Klitschko. I did a Boxingego first look, tail of the tape on that fight. It is on the channel. All you guys have to do is keyword search in YouTube, Boxingego first look, and it'll pull up all of the first looks. It also has its own playlist. Now check those out. Very even match. Both fighters are listed at 6'6". It's a heavyweight division. They're both around 240, 245-ish on the night of the weigh-in and stuff like that. Very good fight. All eyes on that fight. It's a big money fight. Both fighters are going to get a lot of money and a lot of recognition, the winner. Now, the IBF chairman, Lindsey Tucker, he told Sky Sports in their interview what the situation is for the winner in Joshua Klitschko. And he said they came back with this unification, which takes place in priority over the mandatory, so we have to wait. Meaning, since it's a unification with another sanctioning body, that trumps a mandatory, right? Because you're trying to unify the belts, and that takes place. But after, he would be forced to fight the mandatory. That would be his next priority, I guess. And I guess Anthony Joshua is IBF champion. They sent out a formal request to have a Eric Molina title defense, which Eric Molina wasn't in line in terms of the IBF's list to get that fight, but they wanted to get one in at the end of the month, or I think it was December of 2016, November, December, whenever that, December 10th, I think it happened. Yeah. So he fought Eric Molina. We got, you guys, if you watched the fight, you've seen what happened. Very one-sided beatdown. And now he's going on to the unification with Klitschko. And beyond that, what the IBF is saying is Pulev is the next person that the winner is required to face by the IBF. That is the mandatory person in at number 2. Klitschko already fought Pulev and beat him, so if he beats Joshua, then I guess it's a rematch. He's the highest ranking person. However, as you guys seen in the title in the video, if for some reason Pulev is unavailable, or let's say he didn't want to rematch Klitschko because he already fought him and that's not what his career needs, then they just go down the list. Very similar with what the IBF did in the eliminator situation. Errol Spence Jr. is in line for a Kell Brooks shot, and he was supposed to fight Konstantin Ponomarev, but Abel Sanchez has been on record, Gennady Golovkin's trainer, on record saying that he didn't want his guy in there, basically. Konstantin Ponomarev undefeated, and they didn't want the Errol Spence Jr. problems, so they just went down the list. That's how it works. Process elimination, go down the list. Leonard Bundu was the unfortunate person sent to the truth slaughterhouse, if you will, and he knocked out Bundu, and he should be in line for a title shot. Errol Spence. Same thing with the Klitschko Joshua winner. Pulev is the highest ranking person in the IBF's list. He's number 2. But should for some reason, which does happen in boxing, like I said, what if Klitschko beats Joshua and Pulev is like, man, I'm not trying to fight this guy again right off the bat. We're not ready, or we're injured, or whatever reason. There's a ton of reasons why a fighter wouldn't take a fight. Maybe the money's not right or whatever, but whatever the situation is, if he chooses and opts to bypass his mandatory position, like you guys seen in the title, David Haye is the next highest ranking person. Now, David Haye has his own battle in March. It's a big domestic fight against Tony Bellew. I think David Haye should be the favorite, really based on the weight. I like Tony Bellew, but it's hard to imagine a guy that was competing at light heavyweight, got stopped by Adonis Stevenson, is going to go all the way up to heavyweight, even though he has the frame to do it. But first fight from cruiserweight to heavyweight and beat David Haye, who's at least had 2 tune-up fights since he came back from retirement. So he at least got 2 in to see how he feels, how his muscles and reflexes look and stuff like that. David Haye also is a former cruiserweight. However, since then, since he moved up to heavyweight, he packed on some muscle, and he's a pretty big dude. So I think the odds are stacked against Tony Bellew, but Bellew obviously took the fight for a reason. He sparred David Haye in the past. He thinks he has what it takes to beat him. He remembers their early days in sparring. I don't know if that gassed him up or maybe he's seen something in sparring, but he believes that David Haye is pretty much a 4-round fighter. And beyond that, if he stays safe, then he can beat him. And he thinks either guy can knock each other out. So I don't know. I have to see it to believe it. I like Tony Bellew. He actually did better than I thought in the movie Creed. I don't know what I was expecting, but he actually was a good antagonist or whatever. And it's just, he should be the underdog going into that fight based on the weight, solely the weight. If they're naturally the same size, whatever. But David Haye is the heavyweight, and he made the plunge from cruiser to heavyweight a long time ago versus Tony Bellew. This is his first fight, if I'm not mistaken, at heavyweight. So David Haye should be favored to beat Tony Bellew, and if he does, then he's one step closer to a Joshua, and Joshua might be the favorite over Klitschko. I don't know, but he's been wanting a Joshua fight. So if Joshua beats Klitschko, we may get David Haye, and that's all kind of depending on what Kubrat Pulev does, or you know what I mean, some things I don't know. I'm not Kubrat Pulev's manager, but let's say he takes a fight and gets knocked out or loses a decision, I'm sure his ranking would drop. So there's different ways that David Haye could get this opportunity, but obviously he has to win his next fight, and we have to determine who wins Joshua Klitschko. Let me know what you guys think of David Haye possibly being able to fight the winner of this particular fight. It's not really that out of the question. Let me know your thoughts. Who would win, Joshua versus David Haye or Klitschko rematch with David Haye? I don't know. Maybe he's learned something since the toe injury and has lost to Klitschko. You guys let me know. Let me know if you think he could beat Vlad. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.